Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving deep into the secret language of the market, price action. It's the one thing that sits underneath literally every trading strategy out there. And you know what? It's also the one thing most people get wrong. So, have you ever had that feeling you've got a great system, the rules make sense, but you're still losing money? It's incredibly frustrating, right? Well, the source material we're digging into today says this happens because you're just following rules without actually reading the story the market is telling you. You're missing the most fundamental piece of the puzzle, and today we are going to lock that piece into place. Alright, here's our game plan. First, we'll crack the market's secret language. Then, we'll get into the basic ups and downs, the real building blocks. From there, it's the bull versus bear war. Then, and this is huge, we're going to talk about seeing the bigger picture, which is where most traders mess up. And finally, we'll cover the most underrated skill, knowing when to stand aside. Look, a trading system is really just a set of instructions, but understanding market structure, that's like learning how to read. And once you can read, you can pick up any book and get it. It's the same here. Once you get structure, you can make any system work better, or even build your own, because you'll know exactly why you're doing what you're doing. And the source material really hammers this point home. Without understanding the underlying structure, you are trading blind. You're just reacting to price zipping around your screen without any real context. Sure, you might get lucky on a trade here and there, but you won't know why. And that means you'll have no idea what to do when the market inevitably changes its tune. So, how do we start reading this story? Well, it all begins with the two most basic things you can see on any chart, the spots where the price turns around. We're talking about peaks and troughs. First up, we've got peaks. Just think of them as the high points of any given move. It's that spot where the buyers just run out of gas and the sellers starts takeover, pushing the price back down. It's basically a temporary ceiling. And, you guessed it, the opposite of a peak is a trough. This is the low point of a move. This time, it's the sellers who've run out of steam, and the buyers step back in and say, alright, our turn, pushing the price back up. It's your temporary floor. Okay, now this is where it all clicks together. Check out this sequence. An uptrend isn't just price moving up randomly. No, it's a very specific dance. First, the price pulls back, but, and this is key, it forms a higher trough. That's step 2. Then it has to power through the old peak, like you see in step 3. That 1-2 punch is the market's way of screaming at you that the buyers are in charge. Now let's build on that with a way more powerful way to think about this. Buyers and sellers is fine, but our source suggests a better framework, picturing the market as this epic battle between two armies, the bulls pushing prices up and the bears driving them down. And honestly, this little mental shift is a game changer. The term buy zone is kind of vague, right? But if you start calling a trough a bull zone, whoa, the meaning is instantly clear. It's not just some price level anymore. It's the bulls' military base. It's their stronghold. This tiny change in wording totally transforms how you see the chart. And this slide just lays it out perfectly. An uptrend isn't just price going up. What you're actually seeing is the bull army defending its territory at higher and higher ground while launching attacks that conquer the bear's strongholds. This is the language of market warfare. Alright, let's get to what the source says is the most critical concept of all. This is where the vast majority of trading mistakes are made. It's our tendency to focus on the little, moment-to-moment battles, while totally missing the direction of the main war. This one sentence right here, this is the key to everything. See, every market has a big, dominant trend. That's the mother trend. And inside that big trend, you have smaller counter trends. Those are the child trends. And you gotta remember, this is fractal. A daily trend can be the mother to a 1-hour child trend. So what does this actually look like? Well, take a look at the diagram. You might see this perfect little uptrend forming. Higher highs, higher lows. That's your child bull trend. But if you zoom out, you see the bigger picture. That entire uptrend you were so excited about is just a tiny little pullback inside a massive, powerful downtrend. That's the mother bear, and believe me, she's in charge. And this right here is the trap so many people fall into. You see that nice little child trend, you followed the rules perfectly, and you hit the buy button. The price pops up a little, you feel like a genius, and then bam, it reverses and just tanks. What happened? Well, your tiny child bull army just charged headfirst into the main fortress of the mother bear army. That little skirmish was never ever going to win the war. Let's look at this specific example from the source. A trader sees this rally here and thinks, great, child uptrend, let's buy. They're expecting it to just keep on going, but they completely missed the bigger picture. The powerful mother bear was in control the whole time, and she was just waiting at this key level, her stronghold, to step in and just smash the price back down. So, the takeaway is pretty clear. Trade with the mother trend, not against it. But what do you do when there's no clear mother trend at all? What happens when the war is just total, utter chaos? Sometimes the market just looks like this, a chaotic, tangled mess. The bulls break a peak, which should be a sign of strength, but then the bears immediately come back and break the last trough. Neither side can get control. The source calls this a period of just random fighting, and there's no clear winner. Trying to trade in these conditions, it's like trying to navigate a battlefield in a thick fog while everyone is shooting in every direction. Any signal your system gives you is pretty much useless. The source calls this a crazy market, and it's basically designed to do one thing: slowly bleed your account dry through a death by 1,000 cuts. And this right here is exactly why having daily profit goals can be so destructive. That goal forces you to feel like you have to trade, even when the market is in this chaotic, unwinnable state. And it leads to that all too familiar story. You make great money when the trend is obvious, and then you give it all back, and then some, trying to force trades when there's nothing there. So what's the professional move? It's patience. Your job isn't to be a soldier fighting every single day. Your job is to be a general. You wait for the fog of war to clear. You wait until a dominant mother trend establishes itself, and then you wait for a child trend to form in the exact same direction. A child bull inside a mother bull. That is your moment. That's when you attack. So the next time you pull up a chart, ask yourself this one simple question: am I just getting caught up in the child's noise, or am I actually trading with the mother's trend? Answering that honestly will be the filter that saves you from the market's most common and most expensive traps.